Marketing is basically when you have a product in your hand, you need to sell it to your customer. When we study Ramayana or Ramcharitmanas, the number one parameter which comes into my mind is that of commitment. Commitment is very necessary for management, as if you are not committed to sell your product, how you will be able to sell it? Just take example of Rama. He led the army of Vanaras and he motivated to them from time to time, and they fought the battle with the army of Lanka and won the battle.
In the startup world, it's often said that marketing can never be taught, but marketing comes with experience and exposure. This series that we kickstarted, Lessons on Marketing with Manoj Sharma, is a series that brings to you his 30 years of experience. Honestly, when somebody tells you, do this, do this, do this, I think it gets a little too preachy. But when somebody shares their experiences, their learnings from 30 years of a rich career, that is when you learn a lot. In this series, Lessons on Marketing, our key focus is going to be on sharing Mr. Manoj Sharma's experiences from marketing. We'll bring to you a wide range of interesting episodes. Today, in the first episode, we're going to delve into some interesting insights on marketing and learnings from Ramayana that can help you in becoming a better marketer. So, if you are a startup founder, if you are somebody who's willing to learn marketing or a content writer, this video is for you. Before the video starts, please subscribe and support us with this series. Let's go and delve into the details of lessons on marketing. When we speak of marketing, a lot of times we go out there, search huge books, thick theses, videos, we explore so much about it. Whereas the Indian culture is so rich when it comes to marketing. In today's episode of Lessons on Marketing with Manoj Sharma, we are going to delve into the details of what can you learn from the Ramayana that can help you in marketing and in understanding various aspects of marketing. Welcome to the podcast. And when we speak of marketing and Ramayana, what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, first of all, let us see what marketing is. Marketing is basically when you have a product in your hand, you need to sell it to your customers. By the means you sell it to your customers is marketing. That is, in short, we can say it is product promotion. You promote your product, pursue your customers to buy it, and that is how you sell your product. It is a type of management, marketing. So let's see that from Ramayana or Ramcharitmanas, what are the various parameters which we can include. So when we study Ramayana or Ramcharitmanas, the number one parameter which comes into my mind is that of commitment. Commitment is very necessary for management, as if you are not committed to sell your product, how you will be able to sell it. So now, what are the examples in case of Ramayana? As we all know that King Dashratha had given two vows to Queen Kaikeyi that she can ask for at any time, and she asked the exile of Ram to the forest. Now, when Dashratha comes to know about these vows, then he gets emotional. But when Ram came to know about the same, he was committed for his father's word and he fulfilled the same. Now, here we get a very good learning which we can learn. That is, whatever we do, we should be committed to it. See, basically, in case of management, all the targets or the endpoints which comes is the basically sales of the organization or the group. So how it happens The company's target is being set, then it is broken down into certain segments, and then it comes down to individual targets. So, whatever your individual targets are, say, suppose you need to sell 20 bottles of a perfume, you have to be committed to do minimum of 20 bottles in that particular month. So, that is how this particular procedure comes into picture. Now, when you don't think that you are going to do it, the actions will not be appropriate to fulfill those sales of 20 bottles of those perfumes. So, we need to keep that into mind. Secondly, we can see that parameter comes into my mind is that of leadership skills. Now, just take example of Rama. He led the army of Vanaras, and he motivated to them from time to time. Many a times they were not so motivated, but Ram and Lakshmana motivated them from time to time, and they fought the battle with the army of Lanka and won the battle. So, how beautifully Ram led the army is a very, very good example of leadership skill. Then let's see, in case of delegation and responsibility, now here to my mind comes immediately the example of Hanumanji. He was given the target of finding Sita ji towards the south direction, which Lord Ram came to know from previous information. So he delegated that particular responsibility to Hanuman by giving a ring so that whenever he finds Sita, he can throw that particular ring and tell Sita that he is the ambassador of Rama. So, this is one very good example of delegation and responsibility. And second example, which we can here discuss, is that of construction of the bridge from one side of the ocean to the other side of the ocean. That was given the target to Nal and Neel, the two Vanaras who were blessed with this particular parameter, that when they will throw the stones into the water of the ocean, then a bridge can be constructed. So these are the two examples which comes immediately to my mind at this moment. Then let's see the teamwork. Now, Nal and Neel were the main persons who were having responsibility for the construction of the bridge, but each one of them in the army helped by bringing bigger stones from the distant areas and then helping Nal and Neel to make that particular bridge. So that is what is the biggest example of teamwork. Now, here one thing is very important. Many a times, groupism is seen in a bigger team, that one person has 4 or 5 persons associated with himself and the groups are being formed. Now, we need to keep into one parameter in my mind or our minds, that whatever may be the differences of the opinion between the different teams of the group, but the goal should be the same. That is the achievement of the sales or the target, whether it is monthly or yearly. There should not be any effect of that particular difference of opinion. Otherwise, the whole productivity will be suffering of the organization. That is an important thing, and that is why teamwork is a very important phenomenon. Even in case of cricket, you can see it's a team game. No individual can win you a game single-handedly. Sometimes it happens, but mostly, if you observe, it is a team game. Then we come down to ethics. Now, Ramayana or Ramcharitmanas is an epitome of ethics. Ravana tricked Sita ji and kidnapped her. Now, basically, here it is an important parameter to mention that Lord Ram, whenever he sent an ambassador to Lanka or Hanumanji, he had given ample opportunity of time to Ravana to correct his error. Now, this is an example of ethics, because Ravana had committed adharma. So, for the prevention of dharma, Ram had to kill him. But Ram has done it with the help of ethics, And that is the perfect example how he has done it. Then we can also learn time management. If you recall, when Ram was going to the Van or forest, Bharatji had come into the forest to meet him because he was not there at that time in Ayodhya. So when he met Ram, he very clearly convinced him that he has to return back. Rama has to return back in the 14 years time period. Now that is very important. And all these activities which happened, that is kidnapping of Sita and fighting with the army and all those things, had to be finished before 14 years were completed. So that is an example of time management, and we have to keep it in our mind that wherever we work, even if when we work for ourselves, right, we have to see the time management. Suppose we need to catch a flight or a train, we need to keep time into our mind so that we don't miss the flight or the train. And this is how you do the same even in case of marketing or the management. Because if your target is, say, suppose 2 lakhs of a month, if you are not doing it and doing it, say, 1 lakh, so next month it will be 3 lakhs. So try to finish it off 2 lakhs in the same month. Otherwise, it will be accumulated and carried forward. So it will be much more tedious to complete the further enhanced target of the next month. So it requires a lot of efforts. So we need to keep time management also into our minds. Then we can also discuss decision making. If you recall, Hanumanji was sent to bring Sanjeevani booty from Dronagiri Parvat, but he was not able to understand which booty was Sanjeevani booty. So what he had done, he had brought the whole mountain of Dronagiri so that Lakshmana can be saved rightly within the time frame. So that is very important. Decision making, it should be in the thoughtful process and a logical one. It should not be an impulsive one. You should give a proper thought before taking that particular decision. So this is very important for marketing management. So these are the small nuggets which can be useful for our day-to-day life, and when intermingled with the marketing management parameters, we can improvise our life in great manner.
That's actually quite true. When we look at our day to day working as well, I think there are so many situations when we hear time kam tha, isliye this couldn't be done in the best quality. Or many people use this as an excuse that, hey, I did not have enough time. I think that's such an important learning. Whatever you are doing, that is the amount of time you have. You have to do the best in that duration. So, time management definitely plays an important role. Apart from that, when we speak about decision making, a lot of times we are stuck. Which branding should I go ahead with? This or this? Which tagline should I go ahead with? I think just listen to your gut feeling and go ahead and make a calculated risk effort that you can. The third thing that I often face while in the startup segment is how to manage a team in that segment. I think the learnings that we had today really help us in identifying how to keep conflicts away from your team. So, this interesting, informative podcast is something that I personally look up to learn with you guys. If you liked episode number 1, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and also please share it with somebody who would be interested in learning about marketing. On that note, that's a cut from episode 1.